Liam Cohen in Jacksonville, Pete Carroll, they're going to gobble up assistants and coordinators. I'll get to the Cowboys in a second. Every day you wait to hire a coach, you're losing out on the best assistants. So just think about that. There's a finite number of elite NFL assistants. Make decisions, make them quickly. And the Raiders have chosen Pete Carroll. He's an adult, and the organization needs one. I like the choice. I said this. I had no problem if he went to Chicago. I thought he was a good fit there. I think he would have been a good fit in Dallas. I think he's an excellent fit with the Raiders. They need stability. They need culture, and Pete provides that. And in a division where you have to face Andy Reid twice, Jim Harbaugh twice, Sean Payton twice, pretty good bet that a coordinator who's never been a head coach just won't do. And Pete's history is he is good with young quarterbacks. He was good with young Russell Wilson. He was good with younger Drew Bledsoe. He was tremendous with a young Mark Sanchez or a young Carson Palmer. So this is a coach. The Raiders are a total rebuild. They don't have a staff. They don't have a front office. They don't have a quarterback. They have Max Crosby and a couple of weapons. So this is laying concrete. Forget about the master bathroom and a great kitchen. This is laying concrete. This is foundation up. I think Pete Carroll has proven. I've talked to players throughout the years and coaches that know Pete, one of the most organized coaches in the league. When the Patriots faced the Seahawks in that Super Bowl, it was a chess match. And Belichick later said that. He likes facing older, experienced coaches. It was a chess match. Belichick won that chess match, but it went down to actually that interception in the final couple plays. And I think Pete is I mean, here's the thing with Pete. There are things like retaining kind of average coaches too long that I'd criticize him for, or maybe not in Seattle sensing the urgency at quarterback when you're in a division with McVay and Kyle Shanahan. And, we can nitpick all these coaches, but, this is somebody that took a Seattle franchise that was just swimming in mediocrity, took a USC program swimming in mediocrity, even a job that didn't work for him, New England. It's not like they fell off a cliff. I mean, they replaced Bill Parcells. They got, one win less, one win less, one win less. So I like Pete for the job. I don't think I don't think age is a factor with him. I think he's the best available coach on the market. This is an organization that needed a grown-up, needs stability, and needs culture. And as we look for our TV audience, these jobs are getting filled. Bears, Ben Johnson. He's working on filling a staff. The Jaguars, Liam Cohen. The Jets, Aaron Glenn. Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll. Only the Cowboys and the Saints don't have a coach. And that's why I want to segue to what's happening in Dallas. This is amazing. Apparently, Jerry Jones, the Brian Schottenheimer move, according to a report this morning, that wasn't Jerry's idea. That was floated by his sons. His sons really liked the idea, and Jerry's not down with it. He's more down with Deion Sanders. That's probably not going to happen, too. There are some things in your life you can take time with. Like, let's say, buying solar panels for your house. You went 31 years without it. You can put it off until next week. Or maybe marriage if you're a young lad. You're 31, 32. It's a big decision. A lot of fish in the sea. Take your time on that one. And then there are a couple of other things you have to act urgently. Like, let's say you cut off your arm with a table saw. You might want to get to the ER quickly. Or hiring a head coach. Remember, in every industry in America, there is a finite number of elite. And I don't care if it's realtors, politicians, or football coaches. It is about 10%. Right now, we got about 6 great coaches and 6 great quarterbacks and 6 great coordinators and 6 great owners. Even the billionaires, about 5 or 6 in the league that are really, truly non-meddling and elite. So here are the Cowboys. Pete Carroll working on a staff. Vrabel's got his filled out. Aaron Glenn, Liam Cohen, these guys are filling out their staffs. So Dallas is now going to get the 3rd and 4th choice on O-line coaches, and there are not many O-line coaches in the league that you even know the name to. Because at one point, Jimmy Johnson told me at any one time the NFL's got 4 great offensive line coaches. There's a reason you know the names of the best offensive line coaches in college, because there's so few of them. And they're either now all employed or going to get employed by Aaron Glenn, Pete Carroll, Liam Cohen in the next week. So this needs urgency, and the Cowboys have only interviewed 3 people in person. and remember, Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, has 6 rings recently. How did they fire Gerard Mayo? The season was over. And before Mayo got to the locker room, they had a press release. We're moving on. By the next day, they'd contacted Mike Vrabel. They put their name in the running for Mike Vrabel. Think of the Cowboys. I looked this up this morning. So January 5th, the Cowboys played their last game on January 5th. The next day was my birthday. Should be a national holiday. But January 5th, they played their last game. It took them 8 days to figure out McCarthy's not staying. It has been 11 days since then. And they're like, hey, what do you guys think of Pete Carroll? I just got hired in Las Vegas. All right, let's cross him off the list. Oh, boy. In my entire life, every year there's 7 or 8 coaches that get fired. And there's always one great candidate. Last year it was Harbaugh. This year it was Vrabel. And then there's always like 2 or 3 really good candidates. Pete Carroll, Ben Johnson. And those guys, like Ben Johnson, there's always 1 or 2 hotshot coordinators. One will flourish, one won't work. So one of the things about like Mike McCarthy, and if I'm the Saints now, I go hire Mike McCarthy because you know he'll be somewhat successful. And Mike Vrabel may not win a trophy, but he'll be somewhat successful. And you know Pete Carroll will be somewhat successful. With the hotshot whiz kids, the coordinators, and Ben Johnson's a very good coach. It's Chicago. Would you be shocked in 5 years if we're moving on to another Johnson? I mean, that's just the way it works in Chicago. But Jerry Jones is going to do what he did with Dak Prescott. He's going to make you think he's playing poker. He's not showing his hand. And then you end up paying about 40% more than you should. And, I mean, this morning, you know who should be excited this morning? Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh's just sitting back there. All the good candidates are getting hired. Robert Saleh has unbelievable leverage this morning. Unbelievable leverage. You gave Dak unbelievable leverage. I mean, Saleh's sitting there like, now Saleh's the number 1 candidate with Mike McCarthy. So, just an added note. The Eagles this weekend will play in their 8th conference championship in 25 years. Cowboys have been in none. By the way, this is Michael Irvin yesterday on Speak for Yourself reacting to Brian Schottenheimer potentially being the Cowboys coach.
Is he the right coach for the Cowboys?
No, not at all. Honestly, right now, this is the Cowboys. You need the right coach on the football field to bring the best out of the team. But I do believe at the point in the juncture that the Cowboys are now, you also need the right coach to raise the morale. Mm-hmm. I'm a, tried and true Cowboy fan. My morale is down. I know their morale is down. So, hopefully they're making the decisions understanding all sides of it. Yeah, we need the right coach. We need the right coach for everybody on the football field and off the football field.
Now, just think about this. Let's say you give it to Brian Schottenheimer. That's a lower-end coach who will now have a lower-end staff because Pete Carroll is going to gobble up a lot of the remaining solid coaches. I mean, if I was Pete Carroll this morning, I'm hiring Robert Saleh in 5 minutes to run my defense if the Niners don't hire him first. My first call, Pete Carroll, get Robert Saleh off the market. Get him to Vegas. Now, Saleh may have options, like the Cowboy job. But now the Cowboys are going to get a second-tier head coach and a third-tier staff. Brian Schottenheimer is considered a weak hire, meaning if he would have been hired a month ago, you would have struggled to build a great staff. Coaches know who can coach. Like Pete Carroll should be able to build pretty good staff. Vegas, easy place to get people. When you get Ben Johnson in Chicago is considered a hot coach, Caleb Williams, they'll build a nice staff in Chicago. Mike Vrabel, New England. Vrabel's good. He'll build a better-than-average staff. Gerard Mayo did not build a great staff in New England because in the coaching community, people were like, I don't know if it's going to work. A year later, didn't. So now the Cowboys are going to have a second-tier coach, maybe a third tier, and the staff could be a mess. Because Liam Cohen, who got the Jags job, again, considered very young and very sharp. My guess is he and Pete, Cohen's going to gobble up the best offensive staff over the next 36 hours, and Aaron Glenn and Pete Carroll are going to gobble up all the great defensive guys they know in the league. And what does that leave the Cowboys? That's crazy what's going on in Dallas, or what's not going on.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.